I am like just appreciating, and I'm really grateful to you. Thank you for your work too, for everyone. Thank you. A year ago, I sat here before you, and I asked if there was a purpose to this horrible disease I was diagnosed with as a child. 10 years of horrific pain and hospitalizations and surgeries and yada yada, and that there must be some purpose, and you said there wasn't. And
sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
We must only have one answer.
and you said it was an indicator, and I took that, and 5 weeks later I was in a coma after a 9-hour surgery, and when I came out of the coma, my dad had brought me my Mac, and it was loaded with you. And it was just, I'm just so grateful. I was paralyzed, respirator, and the whole deal. And I wouldn't go to what the purpose is. I went to, indicator. And what do I do now? And I think the next thought that feels good. And then that's how I made it through till I got discharged in January. Out of the wheelchairs for like 2 months now. There's pain in my feet still, and leg braces and what have you, but I'm about the positive aspects of all that. So
you are recovering.
Oh, I'm so lucky. And so in the work that I've been doing, which you are this is the center stone of it. I'm getting direction to look at repressed emotions, childhood trauma from all these surgeries and medical tests and all that.
It's the old story, it'll slow you down.
That's what I think, but because it's got to be for where I...
Well, here's the question that we want to put to you. Mm-hmm. What's your mindset? Are you wanting to explain how you got here, or do you want to carve a path to where you're going?
I want to carve a path
because
to where I'm going.
The only reason that people tell the old story is to explain where they are. Think about it, isn't it? Isn't that why you tell those stories? People look at you and you feel like you sort of need to explain, and you get so good at making crap up. In other words, there are even people who talk about past lives and things that they did wrong in past lives or right in past lives, and it's all pretty irrelevant.
Hold on, let me check off past lives because you covered that. So now I felt moved to offer or help or join, because like you said before, people that are terminally ill, you can't really know them and they can't really know you, but I was there for 10 years. So in the reaching out to offer some relief.
Well, here's the thing, there's something screwy in all of this.
No, there's a glitch in my system.
It's all right, but what's happening is your desire to help others, which has been the bane of your life experience, and we're going to talk about that. We'll wrap back around that in just a moment. But so here you are on your way to realignment, still looking back, trying to figure out how to help others. And we want to say, as tentative as you are right now, don't go there. Don't go there. Get your complete stability and then make your new decision. But what is it, and this is really worth talking about, what is it that makes you so full of, and everybody except us is going to tell you what a lovely thing it is. What is it that makes you so full of wanting to help others before you've even found your own stability? It's the same thing that got you here. In other words, it's people demanding of one another, and certainly demanding of you something before you had your bearings. It's like a parent badgering you into compliance and then being mad at you for not being happy. In other words,
But I'm the parent doing it to myself, is what you're saying.
Yes. And it comes from learning flawed premises. It comes from people saying, you want to serve others. And we say, of course you do. We're all in this together. You want to uplift others. But if you don't tend to your own alignment first, you have nothing to give another. The story that we've been telling for a few years is, if you had tripped and hurt yourself and you were gimping along on this hiking trip along this mountain ledge, and you had two friends with you, and one had fallen like you and was crippled too, and the other was sure-footed, which one would you be glad is there for you? And so we're just saying to you, it's all right for you. Not only all right for you, it's necessary for you. Not just necessary for you, it's right for you to find your alignment and bring yourself into not just stability, but vitality. And then from that place, help anyone who is vibrationally near you. And the thing that's tricky about this is that when you get there, when you get into that vitality, those that you think you will help won't be in your vicinity. And that's why almost everybody that goes back to help loses their own vitality. So now what are we saying? Are we saying you shouldn't uplift? Never. You're born to uplift. What we're saying is, let law of attraction sort it out. You must tend to your vibrational gap first, last, and always. And when you're in alignment, law of attraction will bring those for you that you can help, and you can help, and you can help. And there will always be teachers along the way that will help the next, and help the next, and help the next, and help the next, and help the next. We see ourselves as teachers who can assist anyone. As we were visiting with our friend, it was our desire to go to the jails and help them know. As we visit and hear about those who are sick, we want to go to the sick and help them know. As we hear about the impoverished, we want to go to those who are impoverished and help them know. But we never, ever, ever go to where they are to help them, or there is no help that can be given. We just continue, as always, to give our undivided attention to whatever it is they've been asking for, and we call them forward, you see. So what does that mean to you from where you stand? In other words, does that soothe you or confuse you?
There's a little confusion, but there's also a faith or an expectation of understanding.
You see, what we want to say to you, and it's really inherent in what we were just saying about all those who are wanting to help. Here it comes, and get ready to feel it, because you will. Reaching for perfect words. Oh, there aren't any. We'll just go. There is for many such a feeling of unworthiness that you won't seek your own alignment, but instead you seek alignment for others. It's like the true spirit. It's like the true spirit of service. Service means I will serve others. Altruism. I will set the well-being of myself aside while I strive for the well-being of others. And we have encouraged Esther to facilitate us in writing a book about the fallacy of altruism. It's a flawed premise, because if you do not align with the energy that creates worlds, with the energy of source, you cannot be of value to others. So now let's point it a little more pointedly. So and we won't go back asking you how it happened. We just want to point out that it has, so that you can sort of settle into the feeling of knowing that is that somehow, somewhere along your trail, you found yourself not believing in your own worthiness, and so you transferred your desire of upliftment to that of others. And what's gotten you, the reason it got so far out of balance is because when you are giving what you're not hooked up to, you get more and more depleted. make sense?
Yeah.
From an energy standpoint, it makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
So when I experience myself as worthy, am I tricking myself? Am I delusional?
No.
Am I missing something?
No.
Am I blind to it?
When you feel worthy, you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and then you're ready to help anyone who law of attraction brings to you. But we're just saying to you, don't replace your true knowing of your worthiness and value by
seeking it outside of myself.
And in other words, there are so many people who don't feel worthy, and they're the first ones to be out there to want to help somebody else. And if you don't feel, in other words, it's like they're transferring. People will say, I want to win the lottery, and when I do, I'll help a lot of other people. It's like they're afraid to say, I want to win the lottery and satisfy my own desires. They always say, and I'll help other people too. It's about that, you see. And what we want to impart to you in an emphatic way is that when you get tuned in, you thrive and you help others. But if you don't get tuned in, and then you're trying to help others, and we're just suggesting that back there in the beginning, in the core of that, and it's not just with you, it's with a lot of people, there is this unworthy feeling, and you try to compensate for your own feeling of unworthiness by trying to help other people out. Only you're not ever able to help them out because you're not hooked up to the stream that helps them out. That's big. That's really big.
So how do I, because sometimes I don't see.
Well, we're talking past tense for you a bit. In other words, in some ways, we are talking about your old story. From where you are now, you're on the mend. We're just saying to you, get yourself into a stable footing. Get yourself into a really, literally, in all sense, vibrationally and physically, get yourself into a stable footing, and then seek to help others. But when you say, I'm ready to help others recover from what I'm recovering from, we say you're sort of kind of asking for some trouble, because since you're not quite yet vibrationally stable, as you hear their stories that they're all going to want to tell you, you see, we've just barely got you to the point where you're willing a little bit not to tell the old story quite so much. But if you get yourself into a support group setting where they're all telling their own story, old stories, you'll feel compelled to tell your old story, and it'll take you the wrong way in the stream. You see, you got to get so good at knowing who you are and being willing to let go of the old story. The thing that you have to give to others is your example of letting go of the old story, and you're not there yet. Hardly anybody is there yet. You got to really get out there where you're really enjoying the new story, where the new story is you're so full of the new story that the old story doesn't really matter that much. And that's what we meant when we said, and then there'll be a different group of people that will be attracted to you. You're hearing all of this. Good time for a segment of refreshment.
Thank you so much.